the Pentagon is using artificial intelligence to look through classified military servers and store thousands of images and videos of UFO encounters, keeping it all a secret, by the way, from Congress and the American people. Well, a new whistleblower is alleging just that. Former U.S. national security official Matthew Brown revealed his identity this week. He sat down for a wide-ranging interview with investigative journalist Jeremy Corbell on his Weaponized podcast. And we learned much more than Brown's name. We also learned new details about an alleged top-secret government program he calls Immaculate Constellation, or IMCON for short. He claims he saw videos that range from 15 seconds long to 45 minutes long. Some you've likely already seen, like the famous Tic Tac video and the gumball videos. Others, he said, however, are from UFO encounters we've never heard of before.
Nothing in those videos necessarily proves it's extraterrestrial or non-human. It certainly is anomalous, exotic, and unexplainable.
And advanced.
Yes.
Beyond our capabilities that you know of?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it might have been within our capabilities to replicate, even in an inferior manner.
Mm-hmm.
But quite a lot of it, is, it's either something else or we live in a world where we have been left behind.
Joining us now is investigative journalist and co-host of the Weaponized podcast, Jeremy Corbell. Jeremy, great to have you back to the show. So you've known Matthew Brown a long time. You actually even brought him into a secret meeting with members of Congress before IMCON was ever publicly revealed. When did this all begin? How did you first meet him?
Yeah, this started a long time ago. As you know, like George Knapp and I, when we work on bringing whistleblowers forward, first thing is protect them, even if they don't protect themselves, and get them heard through the proper channels. So Matthew Brown, you're right. I did bring him into multiple meetings with members before the word was ever uttered publicly. But the point of doing that was to get him vetted and heard so that he could testify to the American public, because that is ultimately what people want. They want to hear what's going on. And he discovered so many things that the public has yet to hear. And that's why we started releasing that testimony now, because he didn't end up testifying at the last hearing, if you recall.
Why didn't he?
Yeah, it's a good question. The last hearing was a little bit bizarre, and I'm really hoping this changes. I know that Representative Luna and Burchett and Burleson, they're working really hard to make sure you hear from firsthand direct whistleblowers this time. I mean, you ask, like, why didn't he last time? He's been willing, as an American patriot, to come forward and put it all on the line. This is not something that is taken lightly. When you come forward and you expose a program like Immaculate Constellation, which, by the way, for our audience, just to be very clear, it was an intelligence and reconnaissance unacknowledged special access program that focused on collecting footage of UAP and reproduction vehicles from diverse, weaponized, and militarized observation platforms. What that means is it's collecting from all our different assets and bringing them in and culling them in for our government to look at, but secretly and behind Congress's back.
Okay, but you mentioned that the congressmen only want people with direct and firsthand knowledge to be testifying. Does Matthew Brown have direct and firsthand knowledge?
Absolutely. There's different levels of direct and firsthand knowledge. When you discover through accidental exposure an unacknowledged special access program, you try to alert all of your higher command on what's going on, and it falls on deaf ears. When you've gone to Congress, when you've gone into these doors and given testimony and the American public hasn't heard about it yet, it's time to do something. So that's why Matthew Brown is really, he's a courageous person, and I think the public needs to protect and support him.
But the point is because I remember interviewing David Grush when he first came out with his story. And there was a lot of question about with David Grush, what did you exactly see, or what were you told was going on? Matthew Brown has direct firsthand knowledge that this program, IMCON, Immaculate Constellation, is actually happening. He's seen it with his own eyes.
Yes, and even more than that, we are talking thousands of videos and photos, but a lot of videos that the American public hasn't seen of these advanced craft we call UAP that are of unknown origin. So when you've seen those on the inside on classified servers, and you are now testifying under oath, by the way, sometimes when you're going into Congress, that is a big deal. That is firsthand knowledge of a cover-up of the UFO phenomenon to the American public.
It's interesting, in the clip that we just played, Matthew Brown doesn't come out and say, oh, this is definitely extraterrestrial. He's like, nothing that I know of can do this. he is what I would call responsibly careful in how he characterizes the videos that he has seen. Do you know how many of these videos, like how, when we look at the Tic Tac video, for example, it's easy, you know, because it's a thermal imaging, it's hard to really discern what you're seeing. Do you have any sense of what this Immaculate Constellation program video archive contains and how unusual or explicit these videos are in terms of showing things that are just not humanly possible right now?
Yeah, so that is an intense question, because I'll tell you this, when I come and I bring more people forward with George now, because we have already recorded with other firsthand whistleblowers that we have yet to release. So I can promise you, people are coming forward, an army of people are coming forward. But the thing is, when you're talking about this footage, what you're seeing there, we need to become educated on. These are weapons platforms. It's better than an iPhone. What you're seeing in these videos, remember, last week, George and I released a new Tic Tac UFO video to the world that was military filmed. So this is getting out. What you're seeing are craft of unknown origin with advanced capability far beyond anything that we know humanity can make. Matthew is really smart with the way that he presents his words. When we don't know something, we don't know something, but that has always been the issue here. If it is not ours, if it is not China's, and it is not Russia's, how can it do what it's doing in all of these videos that we've accumulated? But our government is well aware. They've been reverse engineering it. That's why they call them non-human intelligence, because we know they're not ours. We know they're not from a terrestrial nation that we are aware of.
Any doubt we'll be seeing Matthew Brown testify soon?
You know, it's a great question. Wouldn't you love to see him testify?
I would.
I certainly would. But there's a number of other people that, again, we've recorded with, me and George Knapp, we have, and they're going to be coming out. So fingers crossed. This next hearing, we have an opportunity, and Congress is listening. They're watching this interview with Matthew Brown as it comes out. Next part is next week. They're watching. So we have an opportunity, and I hope we take it.
All right, Jeremy Corbell, great to have you on again. Thanks so much. Keep us posted.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Appreciate you covering it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.